morning. My name is René van Geement and this is my presentation about Project Edito. I chose this subject because this research I did, so-called Project Edito, is taking me like months to do because it was for my adoption bedrijf. Adoption bedrijf is actually the company I did my internship in for over a year and 1 day in a week. So they asked me to do a research about a company named Edito. They invented an online tool that allows people to create their own magazine, online magazine or online newsletter or something like that for clubs or something too easy and professional to create their own profi magazine. It's a new upcoming idea, and also Robina wants to know of its money making idea or not. So for me to do research about this company, about this idea, about anyone who does this already, or so this is my my presentation, and it's actually a feasibility study, and so that's what I'm going to talk about. First, I will explain to you who is Edito. Edito is actually a company. It's only online. It's actually a sort of web shop or something like that. It's really a new and very modern company that inspires actually a whole bunch of businesses in the Netherlands. What they did is they hired someone to invent an online tool that gives people or companies or clubs or anything like that the opportunity to make a professional magazine or newsletter or weekletter or something like that in a cheap way, because they only have to pay once a year a payment to Edito to use this tool, and they can use it as many as they want, as many people as they want. So you just log in on the site and the tool just pop on your screen and you can start creating your own style, your own newsletter. So it's very not very basic, but the basic things that it's very easy to do. So you don't have to follow a complete study or course or something like that. You just log in and it's easy, so everyone can do it. In my study, in my research, I did competitive analysis. I did also customer analysis, financial analysis. I looked at threats and opportunities for Robina to start this online tool for their own. And so I'm gonna explain a little bit about that. Edito for sure is #1 competitive. If you look at this, competitives that are in this is the first company who built this. So it's a very new, it's very strong idea if you ask me, and it's also very upcoming. So if it's going to be big, that's the question, of course. If we talk about customers, every club in Holland, if it's a football club or a business club or something like that, they all have their own newsletter or magazine, or if it's once a week, once a month, once a year, it's all possible. So if you look at the customers, it's an online tool, so you can take whole Netherlands as your customer. So it's a very wide, very big group of customers, if you ask me. So that's a plus. The financial part, I made a schedule or a diagram for year 1, year 2 and year 3 to see what's the profits gonna be after 3 years. So what I did is all the costs I put on the left side, the incomes on the right side. It's based on expectations, so they are not facts, if you ask me. But what I saw is that after year 1, you already make a little profit. So the break even is right before the start of year 2, and after year 3 you make almost 50,000 euros profit. So it's a nice income next to the main income, because they have more products to sell. So that's about the financial parts. We also have the threats and opportunities, because there are some serious threats, because we live in a crisis. So clubs can choose for a cheaper or free tool to use for their magazine or newsletter or whatever. They just type it on Word, it's free. So make copies in a copy shop. That's way more cheaper than this, but it's also way less professional than this. So that's a serious threat. Also, this idea is very new, so will this idea be big? That's the question. So that's two very big threats for this idea to start for Robine. But there are also opportunities, because it's a new, it's a fresh, a modern, it's digital, it's a great idea, if you ask me. We live in a digital world, so it's really, this idea is taking it to the next level, and I think this idea makes it for everyone possible to have their own professional, but in a cheap way, their own newsletter or magazine. So I think the opportunities way more or heavier than the threats. So because there are also not many competitive, so they're one of the first. So I think it's really gonna work, and that's what I, after my study, after my research, I told Robina to start with this idea, because I believed in it. So I gave it a go, based on the incomes, based on the profit, based on the opportunities, and based on the threats. So that's about my presentation. This was Project Edito. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.